Manga-Waido.
I'm Shin Tamura. I'm 32. I work in the self-defense army. My wife passed away. I was out of town on a rescue mission. I got back as soon as I could, but it was too late.
Mom!
Kate.
Dad! Mom! She's gone!
You, don't worry. I got you. I'm right here. I met my wife Kate back when I was in 12th grade. I wanted to go work for the self-defense army, which meant I had to get into the National Defense Academy, but my grades weren't so good. So my parents hired a tutor for me, and that's how I met her. She was my tutor. She started to grow on me. I really liked her, but… do you have a boyfriend?
Huh? Yeah, why?
Oh, nothing.
Look, I'm not into young guys, okay? Come on now, let's get back to work.
She rejected me right off the bat. After that, I got accepted to my first choice school. I wanted to thank Kate in person, but I could no longer reach her. I tried calling her, but her phone was no longer in service. I wonder what happened to her. I studied and trained hard day in and day out. There was so much work to do in order to become a member of the self-defense army. After that, I got accepted into the JGSDF, Japan Ground Self-Defense Force, and trained hard every day. Then a few years later, I was out of the bar with my colleagues one night. What the? I couldn't believe it.
Huh?
I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but is your name Kate?
Yeah. Wait, Shin?
It was her. I couldn't believe it. My colleagues decided to call it a night. I stayed behind and had dinner with Kate and her daughter. She was a mother now.
This is my daughter, Yui.
Hello there.
Hi. I'm a single mom.
Oh, I see. Then she told me what happened. Right after I got into college, she found out that she was pregnant. So she got married, but her husband was a no-good lowlife. He spent all of her hard-earned money and cheated on her every chance he got. Their marriage didn't last very long. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, yeah. You never know what life throws at you.
We started seeing each other more after that. When I had the day off from work, I took Kate and her daughter out to all kinds of places. Then about 6 months later, Kate, look, I'll protect you and your daughter from now on. So, will you marry me?
Me? You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. You're the one for me.
Oh, thank you.
She said yes! I'm so excited. My parents told me to think it over, mostly because she was once married and had kids. That didn't matter to me. I'm gonna make her the happiest girl in the world. I was finally with the girl of my dreams. It was so nice having a family. Just sitting at the dining table and eating dinner with them filled me up with joy. But there was one thing that was troubling me. Her daughter, Yui, she wasn't letting me in. I guess she needed some more time to adjust. At first I felt a bit worried. Maybe she didn't like me, but when I told Kate…
I don't think it's personal, but her first dad was an awful man, so maybe that's why.
I see. It must have been tough for her.
No worries, she'll come around. No need to rush.
You're right. She just needed some time to process all this. I decided to give it some time. Then one day I got a call from Kate while I was on break.
Hey, tomorrow Yui's going to this concert and I was supposed to go with her, but I caught a cold. Could you go with her instead?
Tomorrow? Sure. I think I'll be able to go home by 6 or so. The next day. Sorry I'm late, Yui.
There you are. Finally, let's go.
This was a big opportunity for me. It was a great chance to get to know her better. Wow, look at the stadium. It's huge.
I know, right? I can't wait.
Who's your favorite member?
Takaru, the guy playing the guitar. He's so good and handsome.
She seems so excited. I've never seen her like this before. Then on our way home, that was pretty good. And the guy Takaru, he's got some skills. That was a sick guitar solo.
Good to hear, Dad.
Wait, what did you say? Did you just call me Dad?
I don't like to repeat myself. Pay attention to the road.
All right. She finally called me Dad. I'm so happy. A year later, she was in high school now. She said she wanted to join the band club, so we headed out into the city one weekend to buy a guitar. I used to play guitar when I was your age.
What? No way!
Yui and I were really close now. It took some time, but it was definitely worth the wait. But then, my phone rang. Hello?
Tamura, sorry to call you on your day off, but this is an emergency. Our team has been assigned to the disaster relief mission in a prefecture. Can you come in right away?
Of course, on my way. Yui, I'm really sorry, but something came up at work.
No worries. Just be careful.
Thanks. I might not be able to pick up the phone for a while, so can you let Mom know?
All right.
Thanks. Well then, I'll see you later. So I headed out to work. The next day, I arrived at A Prefecture. It was a mess. It was hit by a big earthquake and a rainstorm back to back. There were still hundreds of people missing. I gotta help them! It was a race against time. We worked non-stop for days. We were allowed to bring our phones on the mission, but I didn't want my phone to run out of battery, so I kept it off while I was working. Then, 2 days later,
Great job, guys! Backup has arrived, so you guys can take some time off. Get some rest.
I turned on my phone. I had dozens of missed calls from Yui. Something wasn't right. Yui, hello? Sorry I couldn't pick up.
Dad?
What happened, Yui?
Mom, she's been in an accident.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told my boss right away and headed back home as soon as I could. Kate!
Dad! Mom, she fought hard, but she...
No, I'm so sorry, Kate. I should have been here for you. When she arrived at the hospital, she was still alive. She fought really hard to come back to us, but she didn't make it. She passed away a few hours before I arrived. I should have been here for her. For my family! A few days later, we had her funeral. Being a member of the Self-Defense Army came with a lot of responsibility. I knew the risks when I signed up, but still, I couldn't believe this was happening to me.
Shin, you got a minute?
Yeah, Kate's parents came up to me.
Yui told me about your disaster relief mission.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have been here.
No, don't apologize. You were doing your job, be proud of that.
Thank you, sir.
Look, I know being a member of the Self-Defense Army comes with a lot of responsibility. Sometimes you have to leave home for a very long time. I don't have a problem with that, but Yui, she can't be left alone right now. And technically, you two aren't even related by blood. Look, you're still young. You can still start over, start a new family.
Wait, well, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is, we want to look after Yui from now on.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But I knew he wasn't trying to offend me or anything. He was just thinking about what's best for his granddaughter. Look, I appreciate your honesty, I really do, but I'm her father. I'll do everything I can for her. So please let me take care of her.
But, I don't know, you sure?
Look, on my way back here, I made a decision.
What?
I'm quitting the Self-Defense Army. I'm gonna get a normal job so I can spend more time with Yui. Finally, they said okay and decided to give me a chance. So, I quit the Self-Defense Army, got a normal office job, and started my new life with Yui. Alright, can you do the laundry? I'll get dinner started.
Got it.
We did house chores together, but I wasn't very good at it, and neither was Yui. It took us a while to get the hang of it. I couldn't believe Kate was able to do all this on her own. It wasn't easy at first, but we kept at it. We still missed her a lot, but we tried our best to keep our heads up. On the weekends, we tried our best to get out of the house. But I looked pretty young for my age, and Yui looked much older. We probably didn't look like a father and a daughter. Sometimes people pointed at us and talked about us behind our backs. Sometimes the cops stopped me to ask for a few questions. But every time something like this happened, Yui said things like, "Dad, what's the holdup? Hurry up!" to let everyone know that I was her father. She didn't care what others thought of us. She was a strong girl. She was just like her mother. I was so proud of her. We took it one day at a time. We still miss Kate like crazy, but we did everything we could to move forward. Then, 10 years later, Kate said to me,
Dad?
"Yeah?"
There's someone I'd like you to meet.
She was a grown woman now. I knew this day would come, but honestly, I wasn't ready for this. I told her to bring him over to the house. I wanted to meet him in person and make sure he was worthy of her. I asked him a lot of questions. Yui told me to stop, but I couldn't. I had to be sure. By the time I was done with him, we were both exhausted. After much thought, I decided to trust him. He seemed like a decent guy. "I'm serious about her. Please, let me marry your daughter." All right, you win. Take good care of her, please. "I will. Thank you so much."
Thank you, Dad.
Then the big day was finally here. I was so nervous. could barely walk straight. Yui and her guests were laughing at me. This is so embarrassing. It was a beautiful wedding. Yui seemed so happy and full of joy. It was the best day of my life. Then, as the wedding was about to come to an end, the host said Yui had wrote a letter for me. I told her not to do this. Then,
Dad, thank you for raising me. When you first married my mom, I didn't like you, to be honest. My first dad, he was such a terrible person. I had trouble trusting people. That's why I said all those mean things to you. I'm really sorry. Remember that time you took me to that concert? It was our first time going out together. I had so much fun that night. And when Mom died, I was so sad, but when you said you wanted to keep living with me, it made me so happy. And whenever I was feeling down, you always cheered me up. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Dad. So, thank you. Thank you for everything. We might not be related by blood, but that doesn't matter. You're the best father a girl could ever ask for. I love you, Dad.
everyone started clapping. Everyone was crying.
That was beautiful. Got anything you want to say to her?
The MC asked me, so I said, Yui, you're the best daughter ever. I love you too. I couldn't stop crying. Then the wedding came to an end. After the wedding, I told Yui and her husband to get in my car. I wanted to take them somewhere. They were still wearing their tuxedo and wedding dress.
Where are we?
This is my mom's grave. I wanted her to see me in my dress.
You look beautiful, Yui.
Thank you for everything, Mom. If it wasn't for you and Dad, I wouldn't be here today, so thank you. I love you so much.
I'll make her the happiest girl in the world. Please watch over us, Mom.
You hear that, Kate? Yui's all grown up now. And they did a pretty good job raising her, don't you think? Love you, baby. It was a rough couple of years, but glad everything worked out.